sharp and accurate, but with his back turned.
And how much of the body work will they credit Scully with? But right now in this round, here's Nunn with him against the rope, but you're just waiting for the explosion of Scully. And there he tries it with the right hook, which has been a big weapon for him. So John Scully, who lives not far from here in Hartford, Connecticut, has got these fans excited. Why not? He is fighting the fight of his life. This is the best John Scully has looked against a top opponent. And win, lose, or draw, he's showing he is ready for this bout. We'll be back for round 9. Stay with us.
Well, you're seeing Scully able to mix it up on the inside with Nunn, and that led to that nice right hand. That's the best right hand from that style he's landed here. Hey, as a righty, he lands a right hand. Now he's got to open up even more avenues of confidence in this fight.
And you can feel the confidence of Scully building as this fight continues, and the crowd was chanting Scully a moment ago. So they are picking up the beat. Of course, the folks here know this young man. He's been very close in the past. Had a loss to Tony Thornton, among others, Tim Little, Kevin Watts, who, by the way, also lost to Michael Nunn. Scully lost to Watts. So he's lost when he's faced the better fighters. But tonight, he came in prepared against Michael Nunn.
There's something interesting with Nunn as the numbers have tightened up. He was down to 24% in that round, 26 of 109. He is still getting his 100-some punches. The difference now is he's throwing a lot more pity-pat punches that don't mean anything than he has in the past. Not even functional as something to show. He's just throwing leather out there. He needs to tighten them up, fire them harder, or they'll just be perceived as wasted punches, and Scully has made a run, in my view.
And you have to fight dead even. Now remember, Michael Nunn has thrown almost twice as many punches as John Scully, and that does have an impact on a fight. One thing I have to say about both men, it is so rare that you see two men do as good work to the body as these two have. I mean, it's been extraordinary. There's Michael Nunn using the jab, which has been underused tonight.
Especially fighters with more of a boxer-puncher reputation, the knockout artist type. Really trying to dig down there, and Scully has stayed with that southpaw style throughout. It's obviously a very good choice to make and perform very well in that style.
Capacity crowd here in the theater at the Foxwoods Resort. Great facility here in Ledyard, Connecticut. And they are being treated to quite a fight. The voice you just heard a moment ago was Dave Von Tempo. I'm Al Bernstein. We are delighted that you are watching this one. And we hope you're having as much fun as we are, because it's a good one.
You don't usually see Michael Nunn in fights where in the last 4 rounds he'll have to suck it up and win maybe 3 of those 4 rounds to get a decision. Usually he's out in front by this time and can take it home. And Scully is the fresher of the 2 fighters, and this here for Nunn is again waste. Being on the ropes like that and waiting.
Under a minute left to go here in round 9. You can just feel this one building to a very close decision if it goes the distance. And for Michael Nunn, a lot is at stake here. Many people believe he could get a big fight with, in fact, perhaps a James Toney, who says he will not fight as a light heavyweight or below, so that might be out. But certainly Nunn, he's geared toward what he hopes could be a fight with Roy Jones Jr., among others. But a loss here would be devastating to him at the age of 32.
Especially for fighters who are not knockout artists, it takes a longer time to build into a bigger payday.
So the plot is thickening and then some. We'll be back for round 11.
Time.
Round 10 in this NABO Super Middleweight Championship fight between Michael Nunn in the white trunks and John Scully in the blacks. And they start this round as they have finished and started so many more. On the inside, wailing away with John Scully ripping those right hooks to the body and the head of Nunn. Dave, I have to ask you, have you ever seen Scully stay as a lefty for an entire fight?
Never throughout this way, and never be as effective in basically a strategic waiting game, which he has done here. been extremely effective with it.
Let's take a look at the numbers, and there they are from round 9. Nunn with the edge. He's throwing so many more.
And in that round, also, Scully's landing was down. He took a little bit of a round off based on what had happened in recent rounds. A bit of a chance to go back for him. Now he comes on again.
These were the rounds in which Scully felt he could sorely test Michael Nunn.
How badly does that Toyota want to be a Cadillac right now?
You'll remember before the fight, John Scully said, I'm driving a Toyota. He's driving a Cadillac. Well, I don't know that Michael Nunn drives a Cadillac, but he certainly has had some luxury cars in the past. He's made a lot of money as a world champion 2 times over. John Scully is a hungry fighter.
Well, he had some excellent action and excellent opportunities in the middle rounds here. Say one thing, Michael Nunn is not simply trying to put rounds in the bank. He is going down here again, in a sense, fighting more of Scully's fight. If he does win it, they'll have won it the hard way.
Good right hook again by Scully, but Nunn is digging in, as Dave said, in the trenches. He's doing his own body work too, boy, and he has committed to it. That left hand gets in.
They're getting it a little bit better than they did 2 rounds ago for Michael Nunn. Scully has become a little bit more one bond conscious here, as opposed to, say, 2 rounds before when he was looking and trying to do some combinations. Right now, he's thinking right hook only.
Now, Michael Nunn has been 12 rounds 8 times. Scully has only been that distance once before against Tim Littles in a fight he lost. So it's championship territory. It's a place where Michael Nunn is used to being. And will that championship experience pay off?
The momentum appears to have shifted back to Michael Nunn here as he gets into a little bit more movement and has made John Scully be just a little bit inaccurate. And we're not seeing the right hook by Scully cranked up as much.
In case you're wondering, Michael Nunn is 11-3 overall in world title bouts. It's pretty darn good. So round 10, a important round perhaps for Michael Nunn. It got him really back into the flow of this fight. May have pushed the momentum back to him. We will be back for round 11.
Break. Time.
We're back at Foxwoods in Ledyard, Connecticut for round 11 between Michael Nunn in the white trunks, John Scully in the black trunks. It is for the NABO super middleweight title. It has been an extraordinarily good bout over these 10-plus rounds. John Scully, the 28-year-old from Hartford, who came in here surely the underdog, has fought the entire fight as a lefty, which is not his normal style. And in truth, I think we have to say that has made an impact on Michael Nunn.
It's taken away certain things for Michael Nunn and has opened up the right hook for John Scully. He's really been going at it nicely. We haven't seen as much movement from Michael Nunn as we're accustomed to. He's shown it at times, but not consistently.
But let's say this about Nunn at 32 years of age, after having gotten back in shape in the last year. He's showing us one thing very important tonight, Dave. He's capable of throwing a lot of punches still over a 12-round fight.
And capable of thinking and knowing when he thinks he can take a little bit of time off, although he wasted some time, and when he really has to turn it on. He sensed an alarm clock in round 10 and moved it up a notch. He is fighting this 12-round fight to preserve some energy in spots. That's the difference between now and 10 years ago, of course.
I can't wait to see your scorecard. There it is.
With Nunn out early, Scully making a big run in the middle, and Nunn seeming to have turned it in the last couple of rounds. Scully slowing down.
No matter what the decision, if this goes 12, somebody is going to be disappointed. There's good combinations by Nunn. Not everything landing, but you can see the skill level of Michael Nunn. It's still superb, and in that sense, as far as hand speed and combinations, you have to like what you see from him.
And what's bizarre is that Michael Nunn has thrown nearly 500 punches more through 10 rounds, but will get him this fight if he wins it, is his defense in the last fight.
And there's the Michael Nunn that's moving and throwing combinations. Had he been able to do this more in the fight, he would have won handily.
I don't believe he thinks he can do it over 12 rounds.
You are correct. Scully gets in, not feigning that he's hurt, but you never know. An excellent job of boxing here in round 11 by Michael Nunn. When he does this and moves, and remember the old days? You couldn't even win a round from him when he was middleweight champion. When he did this, nobody beat him.
If you got within 5 points, it felt like you won.
And the only reason he ended up losing to James Toney was because he was out of shape, ran out of gas, and had won most of the rounds and got knocked out late in the fight. Just seconds remaining here in round 11. Micheal Nunn may have put this one out of